Hey friends, welcome back to another episode of Ray of All Trades. Today we are working on a power washer. This was one of them that was running great. He left it out in the winter time. Didn't clear the water out of the pump. And, well, you see the damage. The bottom half of the motor is actually, the bottom half of the pump is actually gone. So I don't even know what it looked like, but yeah, bottom half of the pump's actually gone. We're going to drain all the fluids out. I don't like letting these things sit on their back too long without draining the fluids out of them. I did order some replacement parts. Let's see what we got. This was a replacement wand. As said, he needed a new one. I ordered a 25-foot, 3,200-pound quarter-inch hose. I believe this is what that pump was supposed to look like originally. Where I'm getting that from, 3086-530-06. That's what cross-referenced to this pump. So I'm hoping that the motor shaft, the keyway, and the bolt holes all line up. Because like I said, what you're missing is this half of the pump right here. I'm hoping it's correct because I only see 3 bolt holes on this one and I see 4 on that one. And like I said, the numbers crossed over, so let's see what we get. Let me get the fluids drained out of this. Alright, let's work on trying to get this pump off of here. Okay, 12mm socket, 13mm nut on the back side. On the top is a 14mm. The straightening of the block doesn't need a thing to back it up. So there should not be anything holding this onto that shaft. They normally just pop right off. I'm gonna grab a mallet. It's pretty cool looking in here. This is actually a wobble shaft. It looks like it's bent that way, but it's what it's supposed to do because it spins around and it's pushing valves up and down. That's what pumps your water. Let me try to get the mallet and get this off of here. Making some progress. Started out way up here. Now it's down that far. Used a pickle fork and prying motion. I'll keep on working on it. Some penetrating oil may do me some good too. Well, we got it. So the same bolts that hold this up hold the motor to the plate. Alright, training time. The motor shaft goes down into here. This is that keyway I was talking about, Woodruff key. Locks it into place. I think this is an 1/8 inch key. I'm not positive. Anyway, it drives in there. There's also a matching slot on the crankshaft on the motor. That's what locks this to it. So if you push this out, these bearings are riding inside that race on the inside of the pump. As it spins around, I'll try to get you a good angle on this. See how this has got a bent, it's bent, but the shaft is straight. This, picture valves inside the pump. As this spins around, it's letting this valve down. As it spins, it pushes this valve up, and then this valve down. So it's doing that on all 3 or 4 of them, depending on what you got. So it's pushing those valves up and down. That's actually what is pumping water, building high pressure. So anyway, that's how a pump works. When there's water left inside them, the water expands when it freezes and breaks the aluminum and the brass. That's pretty much it. Let's see if we can get this one put back together. Let's get our keyway. Make sure it's lined up. Just fine. If it had a tremendous amount of rust that was sticking up, you'd want to sand it off of there. I'll line up the keyway with the pump, and then when it's lined up, I'll turn it to have that facing forward. So let's put on the ones that slide through completely first. It might help to have a person to help you. Just line all those up. Line those up. So these all have O-rings. There's no reason, if it has O-rings, there's no reason to put Teflon tape on it. Again, another O-ring. The nozzles we'll put on in a minute. Go ahead and attach the hose. The hose has the same fitting on both ends. If there's no lubricant here or lightweight oil, you may have to, just spit on that part. So that little bit of moisture gives it. It protects the O-ring on the way in. I think it holds about 3/4 of a quart. We'll put that in and check on it. So that was too much. 25, 40, and I bet that's for soap. So, 0, 25, 40, that's 15. That's 0. I'll tell you what, and that would be the soap. I'll just put that one on the gun for right now. Make sure there's no ring in there. Make sure that collar locks. Should fold right into there. Just looking at the rest of the equipment, I'm going to venture to say that carburetor probably isn't too good. So let's just pull the bowl off and have a peek. 10 millimeter. Spacer, breather hose, come off with it, take all that loose. We're going to pinch off this fuel line close to the ends in case we have to cut it. Turn spring just lifts up out of here, and the throttle, just open it fully. That should give you enough space to pull that rod out. That thing's got a ton of fuel. Let's see what it actually looks like. There's some trash right there on the end of the needle. Looks like wire hair. It's kind of weird. But inside the jet, it's got some discoloration. Excuse me, not the jet, but the seat. It's got some discoloration. I don't know if it's actually any trash in there or not. But we're gonna spray inside this side, spray anything out, and then we're gonna clean this off, make sure it's nice and clean. So friends, the joys of working outside. The background noise got to be a little overwhelming for the camera as far as picking it up. What I'm doing is using a can of brake cleaner, spraying it into the fuel inlet on the carburetor and letting that fuel come out of where the needle and seat are. And I'm using a Q-tip, wooden handle style Q-tip. They're a little stronger. To spin in a circle and clean any kind of debris out of that seat area. So I'll spray it in, again spin it in circles, pull it out, again keep repeating until the Q-tip comes out clean. And I have in the past used a drill with that Q-tip to just get a little more abrasiveness and speed to that Q-tip spinning around on that seat, just cleaning everything out. So when the seats are replaceable on a lot of carburetors. I just didn't happen to have one to replace it, so this is kind of the second best option when you're trying to get something running and you don't have the proper parts to replace it with. So, and then you'll see in just a second how I test it to verify that what I did was working. Okay, float, pin that holds the float, there's your needle. The spring is on the bottom side, spring's in here, and that when the float, well, it's normally sits like this, right? So when the float raises up because it gets full of gasoline, it shuts off that needle and seat. So what I usually do is try to blow into the valve in this position and then see if it allows air this direction. Yep, working like it's supposed to. Put that back on. See any gas falling out? I think we might have got it. Right, so this breather hose goes on there, and this breather goes on here. So put that one on first. That one on first. And line up the carburetor holes. That one on second. Here. Still not leaking fuel on me. And I'm sitting on a pretty significant angle, so I'm happy about that. Goes there. Well, now I get to teach you guys how to retie a rope. One thing isn't the other. T15 torque splits. Broken rope is down in here. And so that basically pulls out like there. You can find a way to pinch this so that it doesn't keep returning. Then pull the new rope in through here and tie another knot in it just like that, and then let the spring rotate it back in. If that doesn't work, you can loosen this just a little bit and rotate that rope around, winding it up as it rides around this groove, and then tighten it back up when you're done. So I'm going to feed, like I said, I'm going to put a clamp on this, stop it from spinning. I'm going to pull a new rope in that's measured to be the right length, and then let the clamp loose, and it'll wind it back in, and then I'll put the handle back on and put it back on. Alright. Thought I recognized that cord. what was in that was 550 cord. So let's measure out exactly what we think we need. Maybe to there. It's just a guess. It doesn't have to be exact. The closer you are, the better it'll work. Let's melt the end. So that it stays together. I think I'm going to get this right. We call it paracord. Anyway, inside this outer sheath is, if it's 550 cord, there would be 5 of these white strands, each one rated at 50 pounds apiece, holding strength, I believe. I'm not positive, that's what I was told, and I think it's pretty accurate. So, if I'm wrong, drop it down in the comments, please. Tie a knot on this end, tuck it down in that groove. If you haven't already melted it, you know, like I said, hit it, melt it, right? And that stops it from fraying. Stuff it down inside that groove there as tight as you can. Just like that. Bend this piece of metal back down. I'm going to hold tension on the rope. When I release this, it should wind right back up again. Right about there it goes slack. I mean, it's got a little tension, but it's mostly slack. So I'm going to pull it out just a little bit, and that's where we're going to start our handle. The way the handle has a plug, most of them are this way. Stick your screwdriver down in there and pull that plate off, which means that end of the rope goes up through there, just like that. And then you see how it goes through that piece of metal and gets tied in a knot. Hold it up just like that. This paracord goes all kinds of wonky really fast, so just melt it to get it to stop. So we're trying to find the spot where we want to tie this. So like I said, I pulled just a little bit of tension. So see the rope, or see the tension's pretty much left. It's basically at the end, so I want to just preload it just a little bit. Clamp it. We're going to need to tie this as close as possible. The other way you can do that is you can cheat. If you know that you're going to tie it there, go ahead and pull a little more slack, but tie the knot right where you just were. Once, twice, tag in through. And dress your knot to look like that. Figure 8. I'm going to cut off the slack. Sharp pair of diagonal cutters or scissors. Melt it. Pull that in just like that. I'm going to pull this handle up and just stuff that piece of metal in that handle. Hold tension. Release your clamp. There you go.